Hello and welcome to Eat Sleep Code. That is our AI introduction. I've still got to get a new intro made and waiting for some free cycles so I can get into revamping that. Revamp the one that took me a whole 3 seconds to make on the show.
Yeah.
So we do this every week to cover the latest news in AI tech and .NET and all the other things, the developer things. So we're going to get right in. Oh, busy, very busy. Hence the late show and the early, or not the early, but the hard out. So we should get into some tech news. This one has been going for a couple days now.
Yeah.
Over 500 NPM packages compromised an ongoing supply chain attack.
Yeah.
Nothing new to NPM really, but
yeah, the issue here is the fact that a lot of people have their GitHub repos set up to auto accept patches from NPM packages. And so what that can mean for a lot of folks is that they will auto accept these packages, and as a result, they'll see these updates apply. And what's been happening is that a lot of folks have been taking advantage of this. So we've seen this is the third exploit in a row in the last couple of weeks that has happened against NPM. And the issue here is the fact that obviously they're stealing tokens and other various things. And then this latest one, which is Shai Hulud, is also a worm, so it'll try and replicate into your CI/CD pipelines. So it's particularly nasty. And it all comes down to the fact that people tend to auto-patch. And so these are a list of some of the packages that have been pwned. It's definitely something you need to be aware of. And there are some thoughts out there that, package managers can be evil and that this is hell. So you got to be a little bit wary. Trust your sources. Don't auto patch. Auto patch meaning like you'll accept auto updates to patch versions. So major, minor patch. If you just put accept anything from there in your repo, or if you have Dependabot or one of these other bots running, it will auto patch and provide PRs. Sometimes they'll just auto merge into main, which is crazy. But this is what's happening. So be wary of these things and read up on it. It's important.
And just going through the list of some of the affected, 40 plus packages affected.
Yeah.
Some of them I recognize. NativeScript used to be a Progress library. It is no longer, but it was a couple of years, about 5 years ago. And then we gifted it to the open source community. So looks like it got hit by this pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Meet the new GitHub MCP registry, the fastest way to discover MCP servers.
Yeah, so this is part of a movement by GitHub and others to set up a repository for GitHub, for MCP servers. And so the idea here is that a lot of people are now, ourselves included at Octopus, we're providing MCP server endpoints that people can use to connect agents, etc. And so this is a curated registry by GitHub. These are just basically ones that they want to provide. But the model context protocol folks, they're maintaining an OSS one, which is community curated, and that's another repository you can use. But basically, if you're looking for MCPs, endpoints, servers, etc., you can utilize this registry now, available at github.com/MCP to find out more.
It's interesting to see these spring up. This is the second one I've seen for Visual Studio Code. There's a Visual Studio Code in Insider's install button on them. And then Visual Studio has another repository just like this one.
Right.
So sure, these will consolidate at some point, but
it's the race to become first or the largest, I guess. These package manager races,
They honestly have different stuff on them too. So there's that.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open for more of those because I'm sure there's going to be more. There's one right out of Visual Studio Code. If you hit the install MCP button. It pops
Yep.
right up
Yep.
into the browser. So it has a source there, and then that had an install for VS Code button on it too. Circling back on the GitHub Copilot stuff, this was something that just caught my attention, and this was posted on the 23rd, which is like 2 days ago.
Yep.
And it
Old
says,
news, Ed.
what is GitHub Copilot modernization? This almost flew under the radar. I caught this because of some client work that I'm involved in. And what's happened here is, I don't know if you remember the upgrade assistant, John.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, when I updated my Visual Studio, and I'm talking like Visual Studio proper, not Visual Studio Code.
Yes.
When I updated Visual Studio, it said that the upgrade assistant was no longer compatible with Visual Studio. And I thought that was kind of odd. I figured there was like a new version or something I needed to go install.
It's your own product.
I figured it was something I needed to go install, right? Well, turns out it has been deprecated and merged into Copilot as a Copilot plugin. So now the upgrade assistant, as far as I can tell, I could be wrong. So if somebody out there knows better, please correct me. But it looks like now it requires a Copilot license, and then Visual Studio, one of the, regular, there's several versions of Visual Studio, but it's not the basic version. It's like any of the paid ones to make this work. And then you go into Copilot and you do the @modernize tool, or you ask it to modernize your app and integrate the tool. So you have to go into Visual Studio, into Copilot, and then kick it off. And then it is an AI-powered assistant now that will help you upgrade and migrate your projects to a new version of .NET and Azure. So it has taken on more functionality, I guess, and been made easier to use and more intuitive. But from the surface here, it looks like the prerequisites got a little bit steeper as far as licensing and stuff like that. But
Right.
that's just my first glance at it. I don't know. You may still be able to run the old version successfully. I don't know if it's completely disabled, but I did notice that Visual Studio had thrown up a warning saying it was no longer compatible within Visual Studio. You have to go this route.
That's the nature of software, you know?
It is. I mean, it's providing a lot of value. I can't say that I disagree with any of it. It's just the facts of what I just discovered. So it says, starting with Visual Studio 2022, 17, 14, 16, the GitHub Copilot modernization agent is included with Visual Studio. So now you can burn up some tokens, upgrading your projects.
Perfect.
The latest
Love it.
versions.
Perfect.
Handy tool though. It really is a handy tool. And if you go through some of the documentation on how to do the modernization, it shows you like, here's a snippet of the plans that it creates, the results from, it gives you diagnostics on what needs to be upgraded and what packages or what projects failed to be modernized. And it'll hook up reverse proxies and all sorts of stuff for you. And then I've never used it with the Copilot part, so it'd be interesting to see what happens when you kick in Copilot on that as well.
Nice.
Another thing I thought that was kind of interesting, if I can find it in the text again, it did recommend, maybe it was on the previous page, it did recommend models to use as well.
Oh, okay.
And it was recommending Sonnet 3.7 or 4, I believe. I can't find it in there now. It is in here somewhere. It says models to use, and then it has just those two. It says are the preferred models to use when you're doing your modernization with the Copilot stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
They must have done some kind of testing to get to that conclusion that Sonnet was really good at it.
Yep.
This is an Octopus deploy special here, John. The platform
Yeah.
engineering pulse.
Thanks for mentioning this. I appreciate it. So this is a new report that we have that is coming very, very soon. As you may or may not be aware, platform engineering is something that's key for a lot of organizations who are implementing CI/CD. And the Platform Engineering Pulse is a report that reveals basically how organizations that we've surveyed are implementing platform engineering today. So if you're interested, not just interesting, but if you're interested in seeing what's working, what's not, and why, this report might be useful to you. So this is available as a PDF. If you sign up, you can download the report now. And I think we just put it out this week. And so you can read the report, find out what's interesting there. We've added all kinds of cool charts and graphs and stuff. We've got someone on the team who's doing all that sort of stuff. So definitely something worth checking out. So just something I just wanted to throw out there.
It's 70 plus pages, huh? That's pretty in depth.
Not all generated. None of it is generated too. It's all handcrafted. It's the craft beer of reports here, Ed. We don't AI generate our words.
I don't think it'd be too long, John. You know, like
artisanal sort of crafting of the report. Sorry, I'll stop.
The artisanal thing used to be like getting a handwritten letter, and then the typewriter came out.
What?
And
you
now
have your own thoughts and opinions on stuff. Great.
Now people are like, oh, I'll get the old typewriter out for some nostalgia and hand type a letter. And then like 10 years from now, it's going to be like, oh, I typed this by hand. Just in the computer, like with no AI. And people are going to be like, you really did that?
Nice.
And the crowd goes mild.
Mild, very mild. Oh, good.
Speaking of the crowd goes mild.
No, here we go. Here we go.
So it's apparent that everybody is making smart glasses now, John. Google announced plans. Apple's got work on smart glasses, reportedly. Oakley and Meta dropped a bunch of new stuff. Meta has 4 different SKUs of smart glass. You realize that? 4 different SKUs now?
No, I'm very happy to report that I didn't know that.
There are Oakleys and then 3 versions of Ray-Ban. There are sports ones, which I think the sports ones are ones that are overlooked by the tech news community. That goes to head-to-head competition.
For good reason too.
Not really. I mean, if you think about it, like GoPro and Insta and all of those camera vendors, they have really good products, all of them. But they specialize in like head-mounted cameras for people.
GoPro's barely hanging on, eh?
Is it really?
Have you seen their stock price?
No, I don't watch their stock prices. I know there's a lot of competition out there, especially with this. Maybe this is why, John. Maybe this is why their stock is tanking, because everybody's moving to smart glasses.
In 2014, their stock price was around $85. Today, it's about $2.
Ouch.
Yes.
You sound like you may have invested.
No.
Did you lose some money there, John?
No.
Look at all these.
I'm the one who goes negative. Why do you go negative, Ed? I'm the cantankerous one. Come on.
One of us has to do it.
Yes.
So there's a huge
bad
list
cop,
here.
worst cop. Come on.
Huge list of vendors that are trying to get into this market. Maybe they're onto something. Who knows?
Maybe.
But notice the small frames. They're all getting cut down in size. They are solving problems left and right. So Meta dropped their smart glasses this week, and AM Display. Okay, they dropped their smart glasses. The glasses I think are really interesting. They are very Google Glass like. So there's going to be haters out there that are like, oh, it's just Google Glass again. It is, but it isn't. I think it offers more functionality than Google Glass did. But it was 10 years ago, like Google Glass came out. So, I mean, not denying that Google Glass didn't do something great. Um, the thing that I found really interesting, though, is this new input device. Have you checked out this neural wristband yet?
What do you think? No, of course I haven't.
Old man yells at cloud, get off my lawn.
Yes,
No, I haven't.
that's right. I'll just have my fist permanently raised in the air,
No, you don't have to. That's the cool thing.
Oh God.
That's the cool thing. You don't have to
Provided
do
it
anything.
works. Provided it works, right?
So it looks interesting. I haven't used it. I cannot tell you if it works or not. The tech enthusiasts that do the YouTube videos and stuff that have early access have given the wristband a little bit more kudos than the actual glasses themselves.
No.
So the device is really interesting to me. I love different input devices. I think there's opportunity for things outside of keyboard and mouse. And this one, I'd like to get my hands on, no pun intended, and give it a shot. But the way it works is it's an EMG band, so you do not have to physically touch anything with your hand. It's picking up the neural responses in your wrist. And then they say it's using AI, it's probably machine learning, but it's using some sort of machine learning to decipher your finger movements into UI movements on screen. So you could have your hand in your pocket, John. You don't have to have it in front of your face.
I don't care.
Even better yet, you could have your hands on the steering wheel. Don't do this, folks. You could have your hands on the steering wheel and be navigating your UI that's up in front of your face while you're trying to drive. Isn't that frightening to think of?
Yeah,
Please don't do that. No, it sounds like a really, really cool device for interacting in new ways with new UIs that we haven't tried yet. So I think that's exciting stuff. It's if you look at the prototype for this thing, it was gigantic. Like it looked like 7 Matchbox race cars strapped together on somebody's wrist. And now it's the size of like a Snap bracelet from the 80s. I just dated the living heck out of myself. It is so tiny. Does anybody know what a Snap bracelet is anymore?
I don't know.
Is that generation still around? It was the greatest generation. Anyway, so yeah, it's small. The glasses, John, you keep saying they're not small enough, but these are pretty slim. They're pretty slim.
Yeah, they look fine.
And
they may look slim. It depends on how heavy they are.
We can find out. I know you want to order a pair, so we can find out. They're only $800.
800 US American dollars.
Yeah, so that's what, 2,000 Canadian?
It's like 11 billion dollars Aussie, yes.
They are $800. That is a lot of money. However, first gen technology is always expensive. It's always expensive.
Why do you go back? Why do you always pass the most glaring, the most obvious flaw in this whole story? They're $800 glasses.
They could be $3,500 demo.
What do they do? And what do they do
from Apple? But
what's better than I can just go like this? Oh, interesting. Interesting. And I've got like an all-day battery life on this, you know?
The HUD directions I think is really cool. I think HUD directions are neat. I would like to see more haptic directions myself. But the HUD directions is neat. Haptic would be where you're. I
don't want to be going around the city like this or like this, or I just, you know.
The haptic one would be better, in my opinion, where your neural wristband or watch or something vibrates to tell you which directions to turn. Like two buzzes for left, one for right.
On your phone. Google Maps does this already.
It does. Then you have to hold a phone up. He's
It's in your
walking
pocket.
a small child in his other hand. He doesn't have a free hand for phone. He's risking his child getting run
Whatever.
over
This
by
I
a
know.
car by
This
holding his
is
phone up.
a solution looking for a problem.
It is still cool. I don't care. I
Nope.
like it anyway.
Don't care.
So these are 800, but the glasses are part of the equation. The wristband comes with them, so it's a 2-piece set. You could say each is 400, right? Is that fair?
Sure. I mean, who are you trying to convince here? Me or you? Yourself or me?
My wife, John.
That's right.
Trying to convince
That's
your
right.
camera that just went off for
Yeah,
no reason.
sorry. I'm having tech problems. Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
I also thought this one was a very interesting turn of events. So some of the things that were announced at MetaConnect, they have been trying to get developers on board with the AR VR space. And there's a lot of indies out there doing, game dev and stuff like that, but I would say it's still a very niche market for developers to be in. The AR VR space is probably not as big as other areas of game development, and it requires that mindset, working in 3D spaces, models, and all of that type of thing. So they've been trying to push a platform of developer tools. And one of the things that they've done is integrated AI coding technologies into their Horizon worlds. So you can do like natural language, world building, coding, a lot of things that GitHub Copilot can do, but they're doing it in the context of AR and VR. So that's kind of interesting. But another thing that they're doing with AI is they're allowing like NPCs to get involved with large language models. And then on top of all of that, they rewrote the engine for Horizon, which is the 3D environment that you use on the Quest if you're not playing a game. So it's kind of a an open world playground, for lack of a better term. It was their big reach for what was it called? Oh shoot. They had this big pipe dream that they were going after. But anyway,
The
this
metaverse?
is Metaverse. Yes, thank you. This was the metaverse.
How could you forget
People
about
finally
that?
people
This is the
finally
biggest
stopped
crash
talking
and
about
burn
that.
ever.
Yeah. So this all comes out of that effort. But what I think is interesting is they were using Unity as their base
Yes.
for that.
Solid framework.
So-
good solution.
Yeah, and Zuckerberg said during his keynote even that it's a great framework, and their reasoning was not that it wasn't capable. It just wasn't tailored to what they were trying to do, which is fair.
Whatever.
I mean, it's a 3D engine. It's more than capable, but they wanted something that was tailored specifically for AR, VR, and this dynamic AI-powered creation tool stuff that they're building. So they rolled their own. They built a new one from the
Of
ground
course
up.
they did. Of course.
And I believe it uses TypeScript under the hood. I believe if you're going to develop on it, it's in TypeScript.
Okay.
So that is all just interesting stuff from a developer standpoint. Whether you intend on ever doing this stuff or not, I think it's interesting to follow.
For me, the true test of where Unity took off in my mind was when I saw it using. I saw Hollywood applying it to their backgrounds, etc. That's when I was like, wow, like this thing is super capable.
Yeah, I think it was Westworld and Star Wars.
Star Wars
That-
is
that were
the
big.
quintessential application. I think like that looked so good. I was like, this thing is awesome.
Yeah, so instead of using green screens and CGI only, what they're doing is they have a gigantic screen. You could think of it as like the Sphere in Las Vegas, but on a smaller scale.
Yep.
And then they 3D animate the backgrounds and play them on that giant screen. And then the benefit of that is the lighting is in tune with the scenery, because the light that's being emitted from the screens helps light the stage. So if they're on a moon and the sky is blue, it's casting blue light on their skin, and it's easier for them to blend in the real props with the fake ones. And there's a lot of really crazy stuff they're able to do with that.
Yeah.
So that is really cool. They do use Unity for some of that, and I think Unreal Engine for some of it as well. So all these 3D engines are just fascinating. And this is their engine is much less graphically inclined. Like it's running on low end hardware. These VR headsets, they're basically Android phone hardware. They're pretty capable, but the graphics, they're not running like a big NVIDIA chip or anything like that. So they wanted something that could be more directly tied to the hardware, and that's what they went with. And the graphics look good for the VR space. I mean, they're pretty decent from what it used to look like with Unity. And again, it's no fault of Unity. It's just the devices weren't capable of running the higher end graphics Unity is capable of, and this has been streamlined so it can run higher capable graphics. It's been tuned to run on those devices specifically. But yeah, see, here we go. TypeScript generation. So it's writing TypeScript. There's AI generating assistance for all the assets that go into game dev, sound effects, meshes, textures, skyboxes, all sorts of stuff. So I can see some indie devs making some money off of this, publishing worlds and things within Horizon Worlds, and assets to go with it, clothing, all of that stuff that people love to buy for their characters. So we'll see where that goes. There's quite a few Quest users out there these days. I think they're in the millions now. So
there's dozens of us.
Millions and millions of Quest users. So hopefully they'll turn a profit someday. They're losing like to the tune of like $4 billion a year or something. It's pretty crazy.
And why is all the stuff that you like from a consumer perspective propped up by VCs and angel investments, etc.? And just like imagine in a world, and like the whole world.
That's where all the fun is.
But the whole world is like, nah, I'm not doing this. This is dumb.
If you're like-minded, like if you think this type of stuff is cool, or even if you're a hater like John and think it's ridiculous.
I'm not a hater.
There's a fantastic show on Apple TV called Mythic Quest, and it's think of Silicon Valley but for game developers, and like it's an amazing show. Like check that out sometime. You probably die laughing at the characters on there. Be like, all right, that's Ed right there. I know who that is. Anyhow, that's our news for the week. We've got a short list for this week. We've got some of our news articles bumped to next week because we're short on time, unfortunately.
Yes, that's all right.
That's all good. We can have more meta news next week. We can go a deeper dive on this stuff. No, not buying it, John.
Nope, nothing coming up there. Speaking of events, not that we were, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to GitHub Universe, so hope to see you there. We got KubeCon coming up as well. And we've got, we're also going to be at AWS reInvent. So if you happen to be at one of those events, give us a holler. Drop by the booth, say hello, etc.
Yeah, and as we're parting, that reminds me, Blazor Day was today. I got to speak at Blazor Day. Thank you to all the folks involved in getting Blazor Day organized and hosting and all of that stuff, and all the speakers that were involved as well. It was a great show. And if you're a Blazor dev, make sure you go to blazorday.net and jumped on the Relive the Blazer Day link. It was all broadcast on YouTube, so you can go back and watch the bits that you missed. I have a presentation on there about AI first development with Blazor. And I'm talking about the user interface side of it, not the developer side of it. So apps that you can talk to with natural language and have them respond and manipulate the user interface, navigate to other pages with your voice, and talk back to you in its own voice. So fun stuff there. We'll talk about that a little bit more next week. I got an article that goes along with it that I think makes a good promo for that type of technology. So we'll chat about that next week as well. So awesome. With that said, we're going to sign off. Take care, and we'll be back next week. John, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.